Live.
We can't be.
We are.
What?
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Infinity Watch.
That's right.
Infinity Watch.
I almost forgot what we were called there for a second.
I think this show is going to be a lot of spoiler stuff for Infinity War. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, why?
Yeah.
Why haven't you seen the
Why
movie
is
yet?
it going so slow?
Huh?
Has it made $1 billion?
choppy.
Is it choppy?
It's made a. You know what? It can't be. It has done. It's made more money than Justice League.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
man,
Oh, yeah.
It's in Justice League's whole run.
Yeah.
How big was the budget? How big was the
$1 billion.
No, for
Infinity War.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
$1 billion?
Wait, no, seriously?
But it was over 2 movies.
Oh, so it's just $500 million per movie.
That's still a lot of food.
It is
Yeah,
a lot
man,
of
like
money.
$1 billion is like.
You know how many Jack in the Box tacos you can buy with $1 billion?
2
billion tacos. You know how many tacos that feeds? That's about a third of the world. Maybe like a quarter of the world, I think.
Well, if they're stoned, they're lessons. But yeah, you're right.
That's crazy. That's a lot. That's
is
a lot of
crazy.
tacos, man.
That is crazy.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Infinity War tonight. We're going to be talking. Well, obviously, this is going to be our spoiler version. Last week we did a non-spoiler version. We're also going to be talking about some Marvel news, which we have. We're going to be talking about Black Widow. Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer dropped, and last but not least,
Deadpool
music video with Celine Dion, and also some footage from Captain Marvel. Not footage, pictures from Captain Marvel Infinity War. Not Infinity War, Captain Marvel, just Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel Infinity War.
Yeah.
It's going to be, that's what the title of Avengers 2 is, Captain Marvel Infinity War.
First off, let us talk about our TeePublic store. There is actually going to be a sale on May 16th to the 20th. So you guys can get shirts and all that for 30%. Everything's 30% off. So that pretty much covers shipping and everything. So you could get shirts, tank tops, sweaters, hoodies, iPhone cases, anything you want. And
iPhone cases?
iPhone cases.
Oh my god.
Did you get the iPhone case from TeePublic?
No, I got it. No, I didn't. This got sent to me by a fan.
Oh, nice.
No, let's go.
Yeah. Well, you could get
One of a kind.
You could get
Ranger.
iPhone cases with hashtag shows emblem on it. So that's pretty cool.
Can you really?
We could if we have a shirt up there.
All right.
Yeah, we don't.
Well, we do have a Deadpool. If you get your Deadpool shirts for
exactly,
Deadpool.
Exactly. What else we got? What's the THS hashtaggers page, Johnny?
Oh, it's really dope. The THS Packers page is a place to get the conversation going. Right the show in. You can go and talk about a lot of your favorite things, from wrestling to Power Rangers to Marvel to Infinity War, and just again keep the conversation going and meet some new people and make some new friends.
Make some new friends. Also, we're live over on Facebook right now on THS Comic Books.
Woo!
That is our comic book central hub. That's going to keep you up to date on all the cool things that are going on with comics. Johnny just reviewed Go-Go Power Rangers #9.
Such a good book. Such a good book. Go check it out if you've ever seen it already.
And he's going to be making a live appearance at Heidi Ho Comics for free Comic Book Day this Saturday in Santa Monica Boulevard in Santa Monica, California. Is that right?
That'll be right, yeah. So come on down. I'll be selling my books, Black vs. Brown here, Broken, Teen Horror, Elvish. Come hang out. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk Power Rangers. Let's talk everything nerdy. It'll be a fun day.
And last but not least, we have the Super Chat feature.
Boom.
Ooh, Super Chat.
On YouTube, not on Facebook.
YouTube. This is a YouTube feature only. The Super Chat features helps support the show. It gives back. It actually gives back to you guys, the community, and we're putting most of it into Power Morphicon 2018.
18.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, speaking of free comic book day, if you're here in Manhattan Beach, which is our home, Manhattan Beach or Culver City, on Saturday in Manhattan Beach, we are gonna have 3 Rangers here. It's gonna be Azim and Ciara from Megaforce, and Allison Sullivan or Allison Kipperman from Power Rangers Wild Force. So they will be here live on Saturday and on Sunday. We're going to be doing a few shows with them. We're going to be having some fun. We have a lot going on.
That'd be dope. That's gonna be awesome.
Is that right? Are you excited about that?
3 Power Rangers coming.
Thank you so much. And also thank you so much to Sapphire Management for getting us in contact with Azim.
Yep.
For booking that.
She was working hard.
She was working hard.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stephanie from Sapphire Management. You are amazing. So go follow Stephanie, by the way, at Sapphire Management on Twitter and I believe on Instagram as well.
Yep.
Guys, Infinity War, we sat on it for a week. I've seen it twice now.
Yeah, I've seen it twice.
Seen it twice.
All right, so we've all have seen it twice. Let's hold off on that talk for Infinity War. Table that for a second, because we're gonna go through. Now we're gonna get deep into spoilers. We're gonna get deep into like what we think is gonna happen next. We're gonna talk about all that stuff. But let's talk about the news first.
Okay.
First things first. First thing on our topic is Jezzer. What do you want to talk about first? Black Widow. Black Widow is. We broke the news last week that it's going to be a prequel that's going to take place It's going to be about Natasha leaving the USSR after it crumbles, and her being on the run from the KGB, and her landing in New York. So it will be a prequel. And currently, right now, Marvel's looking for a bunch of different directors. And they've been cycling through a ton of directors. We don't have a lock on anybody that they've been targeting specifically, but we do know that they've met with a lot of female directors for this too. Now, ideally for you guys, who would you want to see? Who would you want to see direct this film?
Ooh, probably a director that has done like espionage movies or action movies. Maybe someone that's done some of the James Bond movies, or
that's a good call.
The Jason Bourne movies, or like something along those lines. Maybe even someone that did like Mission Impossible or some of these. Because I feel like that's what the film is going to be. It's not going to be too much about superheroes, so much more espionage.
Spy.
Yeah.
I like that. I agree with Jezzer. Have someone from James Bond world would be super dope. Somebody who I like to have some input on this, maybe like an advisory role, maybe like do a quick run of the script if possible. Joss Whedon.
Really?
The reason why is because, again, I don't want him directing because I know he's like really tired from that, but he did do a lot of development with her character and whatnot in like the two Avengers films, and he has like seems to have a sweet spot for Natasha. It seems like as he was working with her, he had like a long-term vision. So I want him to just like kind of give his input, like, you know, maybe be a consultant really quickly, kind of share what he got a plan for her. Because again, he did amazing stuff with his like Buffy run, he did amazing stuff with Angel, so he knows how to do long-form storytelling.
You mean that movie that he made, Buffy?
The Vampire Slayer?
The movie, right? With Luke Perry. There's a TV show.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Who would you have?
Well, it looks like they're trying to aim for a female director for this.
Okay.
I think Catherine Bigelow would be a good choice.
What did she work on?
She did. She worked with Jeremy Renner. She did, I believe that what was that movie with the bomb? Hurt Locker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that she could be a really Catherine Bigelow.
Would you have it be done in that type of style, like?
I mean, it can be, yeah, like more gritty. I think if you could do there's either two ways to go about doing a Black Widow movie: make it really gritty, or make it really smooth and actiony. Yeah, kind of like one of those
Assault or Atomic Blonde.
Exactly. You can. It's one of those two things. But realistically, I think that a good choice for this movie would be somebody that's done one of these Bourne movies.
Yeah, I think probably the person that did the last Bourne movie would be perfect for it. Just how it played out. Who would be the antagonist in this film?
There's rumor that it could be the Winter Soldier.
Really?
Well, because you got to think about what she says in Captain America: Winter Soldier about how she's had a run-in with this guy that nobody's really ever seen, and he shot a hole right through her, and no more bikinis for her. And then Cap was like, "Yeah, I'm sure you look terrible in them." And then we also know that in Civil War, that he in 1991 is when they're doing the experiments on him, and that's also funny enough when the USSR crumbles. So it could be a correlation between the two.
You think there could be a scene where Captain Marvel shows up, or like?
I would doubt it. I would strongly doubt it.
What year would Captain Marvel be set in?
Well, that's supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be taking place in the 90s as well, or it might be the 80s. It's one of the two, but I think it's the 90s.
So do you think Nick Fury will play a part in
I think he could play a part in the Black Widow movie, but I also think that somebody like, if we do like little time jumps, somebody like Hawkeye could also play a part of this movie as well.
That would be dope too.
And you can get that Budapest kind of reference that they saw. You can do a few things, but I think this is a good way to introduce some more famous agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like from the comics, like oh man, there was this one, like, well, we're gonna in Ant-Man we're getting one. Jimmy Wong?
Jimmy Wong, yeah.
He's gonna be in Ant-Man, and then I think there's a guy named not Clint, I forgot his name, but there was another, like, a few agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that are kind of like somebody else they can bring back is Coulson.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
In the Avengers, you never see Black Widow and Coulson really interact with each other, so you don't know if they already know each other before then.
Well, they do know each other mainly because she says she tells Captain America and Avengers, like, oh, did Coulson get you to sign his like trading cards? And he's like,
that's true. Yeah,
Okay.
right there.
so they definitely know each other.
But I agree with you. I hope they're going to bring out Hawkeye into this because like people who are fans of the comics might know that Black Widow is actually a person who like trained Hawkeye at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because Black Widow actually started off as a villain, and she took Hawkeye under her wing and kind of brought her to the world of espionage, kind of corrupted him in a way like that. So I kind of hope that their origins stay tied together, and we get to see that because their friendship on screen is like as dope as one of the favorite.
Do you guys think that this is going to be a easy hit, a easy home run for Marvel? If they would,
It can be, and here's why. Let's say that Avengers, let's just speculation. Let's say Avengers 4, that her or Hawkeye die.
Mm-hmm.
That let's say it's her that dies, and then people are like, well, she has her own solo movie, but it's a prequel. I think it's gonna have more of an impact knowing the story of seeing the completed story between Hawkeye and the Black Widow, all the way from the prequel movie, from what you get to the Avengers, Avengers 2, and then eventually Infinity War, and you see that their kind of relationship, which I think could be really cool.
what if they wanted to do a sequel to it? To
The Black Widow movie? Well, you can do that. It would just have to be in a different, like in another time frame that takes place before the first Avengers movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, also you'll just go to the idea that nobody stays dead in comics, or maybe nobody stays dead in comic book movies too. So,
Do you guys really think that she would bite the bullet in the
Yes.
next one?
I think that she still has red in her ledger, and I think that's the only way that she's going to have to sacrifice herself to clear it out. That's what I believe.
So that's cool. I mean, whoever they choose, they're probably going to announce someone soon, I think.
For a director?
For the director,
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that Black Widow is a high priority for them to get done, mainly because realistically, Marvel doesn't have any female characters besides, I mean, at least feature film characters besides Captain Marvel right now. We already know that's in the works.
Yeah.
And then we already know that they've announced Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Spider-Man
and Guardians of the
sequel.
in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn.
Tim Gunn.
James
Different
Gunn. James Gunn has emphasized that he wanted to make the movie more about Gamora instead of Star-Lord.
Well, that's going to be a little difficult. But you know what? And we'll talk about that in a second. Or we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But table that thought, because I have a comment about that, because we're going to talk about what we really thought about that movie. But who do you guys want to see as Black Widow? Leave a message in the comments or in the chat, wherever you are, and we'll figue out who you guys wanted to see, and we'll announce it here next week. Let's move on to our next story.
Okay, you want to go to Ant-Man and Wasp trailer?
Yeah, did you see the new Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer?
yeah, it did. It was super dope. It was cool.
Fun change.
Yeah, it was.
Nice change of pace. One thing I do like about Ant-Man, he always comes after you get these heavy movies. After these movies.
What was he before?
Avengers: Age of Ultron. It was like right after.
Because Ant-Man came out 2015.
It was, it's like 2016, right?
Yeah, it was like 2016. It was that summer. It came out like July, August time, or something like that.
So, the cool thing with that, though, Ant-Man and the Wasp, this movie looks so much fun.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
And I love the scene where you just see Ant-Man as a giant, like, kind of like messing with this truck.
Yeah.
It just looks...
He's using it as a scooter.
Yeah, he's using it as a scooter. I think it's hilarious. And Paul Rudd's perfect for this franchise, because I remember back in the day, it was either going to be Paul Rudd, or it was 2015. Sorry, it was either going to be Paul Rudd or it was going to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm really happy they went with the Paul Rudd route.
That was really an option, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as
He was out for a while too, though, so it makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm looking forward to this too, though, because like one of my favorite scenes is in this movie is we get Lawrence Fishburne, who's said he used to work with Hank Pym on something called the Goliath Project, which makes allusion to the comic character Goliath, who was like the black, like pretty much Ant-Man in a way, who grew like super large as well.
It used to be called Black Goliath, right?
Was it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, because maybe we may get a chance to see him in this movie too. Maybe see Lawrence Fishburne,
Bill Foster
as well. Yeah. So
there's rumors out there that Bill Foster, this isn't a spoiler because I don't know, but there's rumors out there that Bill Foster's the villain.
Really?
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. It's probably not true. We know that Ghost is the villain, played by the beautiful. Go ahead. Who's playing Ghost in the movie?
I don't know who's playing Ghost.
She's in Ready Player One.
Oh wait. Who?
Oh, come on, man. You're killing me here.
I don't know.
Stacey Dash.
No, but she's
Wait. She was in Ready Player One. Who was she in Ready Player One? Oh, she was the dude's assistant. Yeah,
What's
okay.
her name? She was in Game of Thrones too, actually.
She was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I thought I think that the villain might actually be
Hank Pym.
Hope.
Hope? No, you're crazy. You're crazy, man.
Where's
Hannah
Hope
John Kamen.
Hannah John Kamen.
Yeah.
Where's Hope
Beautiful.
been? Where's Hope been?
Hope? What do you mean? Where's she been?
Yeah, where is she at? Is she in that realm?
In what realm? Hope is with him. Hope is the Wasp.
Oh no, not Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the same thing. I think it's Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah.
Like the moment she started shrinking, growing larger, walking through walls and everything like that, I think it's Janet Van Dyne.
Because they didn't show her in the trailer either. They didn't show her, so I mean, we don't know. We don't know what her role is.
She's in that. She's disappeared in the quantum realm.
Yeah, but
quantum realm? Not the quantum realm.
Quantum realm. Quantum realm.
Yeah.
Quantum realm.
She went subatomic.
Subatomic because she went too small. But
she went between the.
I think she might. I think she might be pretty mad that no one tried to go save her or find her.
They did. Hank spent his whole life doing it.
Yeah, but he never entered that. He never entered the
because he didn't think it would come back. Scott did though.
Yeah.
Scott entered it, and he came back. Here's the cool thing I like about. Oh, you're gonna say?
I was gonna say that's the reason why I heard Hope had that fractured relationship because he sent her away to boarding school and he thought that she was in the way because he was like ashamed or he hated her or whatever. But he was actually using all that time to search for the mom.
Yeah.
So I agree with Jezzer. I think it's the mom, but I think she probably came out of the quantum realm, kind of like brain damage. Because like he's like if you go into some realm, it's a place where time and space don't exist.
Yeah.
Just kind of rewatch Ant-Man.
Like I think she might be the one that's ordering Ghost around.
I think she might be Ghost herself.
You think she's Ghost?
I think she might be.
Did they not show Ghost take off her helmet?
Yeah, it's Hannah John.
I think I saw it. But yeah, I think that's how it's gonna play out, and I think by the.
Wow, you think Jan's the villain?
Huh?
Crazy.
I like it.
You don't think?
I mean, that's a good theory.
I mean, because Michelle Pfeiffer plays a good villain.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it'd probably be underutilizing her acting skills to have her just play this housewife or this partner to Michael Douglas. So,
yeah.
I mean, it kind of extends her acting skills a little bit for her to be. I mean, she probably won't be the villain, or she's probably like an anti-hero or something, or probably just be fucking things up, but not really the villain. I don't think we've actually seen who the real villain is in this. I don't think Ghost is
the real villain.
No, I don't. Okay. I think it's just like chump change.
I have a prediction at the end of this movie, though, that I think Hope disappears.
Hope?
Really?
Like as soon as she disappears, somebody disappears.
Is it Hope or is it?
I think it's gonna be Hope and I think it's gonna be Hope and Hank.
You think?
And
so?
Scott's gonna, probably even not
no,
Scott's daughter.
Scott can't do it on his own.
But that's why he goes back to the Avengers. Like, what the hell happened?
You don't. So you think that she would be his crutch if she stayed. If she didn't
Well, you know what? I don't think Hope disappears. You know why? Because I think Hope has to be in the Avengers movie.
Yeah,
I think maybe Hank and Jan. And I don't think she's the villain. You could be right though.
Can I throw one out there?
Yeah.
Because to get that emotional reaction out of it and everything like that, to get like Scott he was revved up like a man on edge, his daughter disappears.
You mean Hank?
No, Scott's daughter.
Oh. I thought about that too. However,
Casey.
But they've cast her as an older version.
Yes, in Avengers.
In Avengers 4, which we broke.
So the thing that they're saying about Avengers.
So she could come back though, but
no. The thing that they're saying in Avengers 4 is that
she's older.
It's not going to take place right after the events of Avengers.
It's supposed to take place
like 5 years or something. Yeah, which explains why they cast her.
But then I don't know if Hope's. I don't know, man.
Because they're also saying that after the people disappear, that they totally forget about them.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this information?
King of Wakanda.
They're like it turns into this thing where like they're just erased from existence, and Hank and Hope are probably the only ones that aren't affected by that because they were at the same time or during that time they're in that realm.
Right.
So that's what makes those two key characters in the new Avengers film.
I like it. But again, I see he comes out the second time around. He's like, okay, where's my daughter? And then he goes to his ex-wife. She's like, what do you mean we never had a daughter? And then he freaks out. And like you said, he goes to the Avengers and like, okay, we got to figure out a way to get my daughter back.
There has to be something. Maybe they're trying to figure out.
I don't think Scott Lang makes it out of Avengers 4 alive.
You don't think so? I think it's premature to like let go of that character right away.
We're going to get an Ant-Man 3.
I think we will get an Ant-Man 3, but maybe with a different Ant-Man. Or we get a Wasp instead of an Ant-Man 3.
Or you think we get
I think
what's Casey's name when she becomes this hero? Stature.
Yeah, Stature. We could get a Stature movie as well.
I think Hank doesn't make it out of either Avengers or Ant-Man versus Wasp.
I agree. I think Hank Pym's not making it.
Well, my money's on Scott.
I think it's too premature to let go of Paul Rudd.
Well, I think he's fulfilled his contract.
Sign him again. He did amazing work in Civil War.
Technically, he's done. He's already. This will be his. I think when we get to Ant-Man, when we get to Avengers, that's going to be his fourth movie.
Fourth film.
How many did he sign for?
If he signed on for 6, then he has 2 more left. But I don't know if he did. I don't think he did.
If he signed on for 6, that means that we get an Ant-Man 3, and then we get him in the next Avengers 4. Or he could die there and pass the legacy on to statue.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Because then again, because Marvel's doing this thing now where they're teaming up characters instead of giving their own movies if they perform as well.
I think it's like just to cut down on time.
Everything like that.
I mean, look, they did with Thor Ragnarok. They combined 2 stories, or it wasn't even really about Ragnarok.
No, not the real comic Ragnarok.
Yeah,
at all,
it was
really.
like it was more Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
It was more Planet Hulk than it was Ragnarok.
But it worked.
It did.
That's all that really mattered. Is
it worked.
Let's move on to our next news story. So Hasbro's just bought the rights to the Power Rangers.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about that here. We're going to talk about that on the Rangers show. But I know that everybody, I have a lot to say about that. But we'll get there because I think I was the first person to ever say that was going to happen.
Who was saying that? Who was saying that they did?
Daryl said.
No. Someone in hashtag said, "Oh, I called it. I was like,
I was the very first person to say it, mainly because the announcement that they got bought out. Not the toys. The toys got bought by Hasbro.
Can I get a Hasbro Marvel toy?
Yeah, go ahead. When that announcement happened, like our show went live like the next day, or like that same morning actually. And
I didn't know which one is Hasbro.
It's just the Marvel ones, bro. The Marvel Legends.
Say Hasbro on the box.
An idiot. But I told them, and I didn't. Oh man, I knew this was gonna happen for a while. And when I went on my epic rant, this is kind of where it all started. But we'll talk about this in a bit.
I mean, if they can do what they do with these toys with Power Rangers, they'll be fine. I mean, they look great. They look cool.
Yeah, they do. They're straight. Can we ask one question though?
Yeah.
What do you think about the price they got it for?
500 million? You think that's small?
I think it's a steal.
I think so too.
It's a steal because he said that he bought it back from Disney.
I think realistically though, there's 2 things that we got to take into account. This actually does tie into Marvel actually, so this is good.
Okay.
Number 1 is I think we all know this by now, is that when Disney originally bought Power Rangers, it was a test because at the time Disney didn't have any boys markets, and they wanted to get a boys market because they had all these Disney princesses. They didn't have Marvel at the time, so they wanted to buy something that was going to be able to test well with young boys. So they bought Power Rangers. It did okay, but I think Power Rangers was a test run to see how well they could do with Marvel and Star Wars.
Right.
Then obviously they get Marvel and Star Wars, it blows up. Once you kind of get that under your belt, you can let Power Rangers go. Saban buys it back for $100 million. I think it was $100 million. At the time.
$100 million.
That's a steal.
It's a steal.
Right? 20 years, at that time, 15-year anniversary is steal. Gets it back and makes it, what it is now. And he sells it. So you think about the time that he had it back, it was cost about he made $100 million each year that he had it back, essentially. It's a hell of a lot of money.
And he gets
$500 million.
He has a job too. He's going to be an advisory role.
Yeah. What does Hasbro? They have a streaming service, or do they have like an entertainment service?
No, they have most of their stuff comes on Discovery Kids.
Yeah, they used to have the hub, but they cut up merch with Discovery Kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll talk about this on the Rangers show. So we're gonna move on to our next bit of news on this Marvel show. And trust me, I got a lot to say on this Rangers stuff. You're gonna want to hear it when we do it. But what's our next bit of news? Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel set pictures came out, and we see. That's right, Nick Fury himself, Samuel L. Jackson, was spotted on set, and this is how he looks.
Yeah.
He is looking a lot younger. This is pre-eye patch Nick Fury.
Oh, man.
He looks. Eyes. I'm telling you, he looks exactly like he did in Triple X with his hair.
He does, actually.
You're right. He does have that Triple X look to him.
He has a Triple X hair right there.
He does. So what do you guys think? What do you think we're seeing here, Johnny?
I don't know. From what I can see and everything like that, it looks like he's recruiting her or trying to get her. Again, it seems like he's probably working for Shield. This is Shield pre-superheroes and everything like that. So before that, when super spy tech and everything like that, it seems like he may be trying to recruit her to their side or anything like that, or trying to figure out what her goal is and everything like that. Because it looks like from her outfit, it looks like she's already had encounters with the Kree.
So is it green?
What?
Is the suit gonna be dark blue and green?
The
Captain Marvel first appeared, he had a green and white suit, the male version, everything like that, and then later on it started to change colors.
I know, but here it's green.
But here it's green, so this probably paying homage to the original Captain Marvel's outfit and everything.
I don't like the color scheme.
Oh yeah, no one did. That's really they changed the colors to the red and blue and gold and everything.
Yeah. By the way, I was at a prop house the other day. And
What's a prop house?
I got invited to this prop house for Captain Marvel, and I saw a bunch of the weapons for the Kree and Skrull War. It's pretty. They look fucking amazing.
They look very organic.
They looked futuristic. Like one gun I saw, like it had a trigger, but then it has lights on the inside of it. It was pretty cool.
So it kind of looks like Halo. Type.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think that supposedly, you know, Kevin Feige came out and said that she is the strongest hero in the Marvel universe.
In the whole universe.
So I think maybe she's the one that sets things right in Avengers 4.
She's probably the one that helps them find Thanos.
And she does become a leader of the Avengers at some point. And I think that it's going to be her Avengers. Her, Spider-Man, I think probably Black Panther.
Why do you guys like Brie Larson?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I like Brie
What
Larson.
was the first thing that you saw her in that you thought, oh man, she's going to be big?
The Glass House.
The Glass
Or
House.
is it called The Glass House? Glass Castle. Glass Castle.
Okay.
With Woody Harrelson. She's great. She also in a movie called The Room. Not the one with Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. The one with the little boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great. Though, you know, somebody else that was up for this role didn't get it, though, was Emily Blunt.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think she would have been great, too, though.
Yeah. She's great.
Yeah, I think she brings a groundness to it and everything like that. Like, she's just a really solid actress who knows how to portray a role and get a character across really well. She's not like an actress like glamorous or like a glam model or anything like that.
Yeah.
She's like somebody who like takes the crap seriously, who's like really bring this character alive.
I'm going to be honest, I don't really know too much about Captain Marvel.
Oh, man, she's great.
Dope. She's dope.
You know what, Johnny? You made a great point to me the other day, though. I don't know if it was you or I think it was you, that we were talking about how this movie is going to be really based on the more recent run.
Like Kelly Sue DeConnick. Yeah,
Kelly
we
Sue
talked about that the other
DeConnick.
day. Because Kelly Sue DeConnick took the book over a few years ago. And she did an amazing run where she like took Captain Marvel more seriously, and the fans got behind it. There's even a Carol Corps of just like fans who love this version of Captain Marvel because she's like more human. She's more like girl power, but she's also just more badass. Like she stands up for herself. And like Joe said, she leads her own team of Avengers and everything like that. In fact, in the comics, Civil War II is caused mainly because of an interaction between her and Iron Man.
Who's right?
Well, it's Civil War II.
Iron Man.
Yeah, technically Iron Man. Sorry, Civil War II, which kind of sucks, but yeah. But
It's pretty much Minority Report.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So the premise of Civil War II is that they find this mutant who has the ability to see the future. He can see cataclysms before they come, and Captain Marvel believes they should use the mutant to go after people before they commit the crimes, like genocides and stuff like that. Iron Man's like, no, we can't convict somebody if we don't know they're guilty or not. So they kind of put her like the wrong side there and everything like that, and it causes the heroes to fight again.
What he said.
But it's good though, so give it a read if you want to.
So we're excited about that. I'm excited about seeing Captain Marvel. That's going to be in March of 2019. So we're a little bit of ways, but it creeps up on you pretty quick, especially since we have Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm excited for it too because I was like rewatching Civil War the other day, and I was just looking at it. I was like, you know what? As much as I love the Marvel heroes, they're all kind of grounded heroes in a way. Like nobody's like super strong.
Well, Thor is.
Except for Thor, like
Hulk.
Vision and Hulk. Everyone else is kind of like grounded. It's like if I saw one of them in a fight, I'd be like, you know what? I might get a punch
but those two characters that you named were not in Civil War.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I think that's the reason why they took them out because they didn't want to.
I mean,
they would have tipped the scales too much.
We'll talk about this and when we talk about the Avengers stuff, but I almost we'll get there in a second. Anyway, let's move on to our next story, which is
Avengers 4.
What?
Avengers 4.
Huh? That's not our next story.
Yeah, that's
Can't
what I
be
got.
our next story. How's Avengers 4 our next story?
That's what I got.
talked about
I got
Avengers 3
Ant-Man,
yet.
Black
Yeah, we
Widow.
didn't talk about Avengers 3 yet.
Avengers. Oh yeah, we did. Well, we didn't. We can talk about Avengers.
Oh, maybe. I don't know what we're supposed to be talking about right now.
The Deadpool music video?
Deadpool music video. Yes, sorry. Let's talk about that. He had something else queued up altogether.
worries.
We just watched this Deadpool music video starring Celine Dion. It was quite amazing.
The song's called Ashes, and it's everything like that. It was really dope. It starts off your classic like Celine Dion music video, where she's like standing on stage. She's got the grand orchestra behind her, everything like that. But all of a sudden, come walking up is Deadpool wearing high heels, who goes into this whole like ballet recital, dance around Celine Dion, everything like that, from like doing the splits to doing a bunch of other things.
And it's not the Titanic song, is that right?
No, it's called Ashes. It's called Ashes. Yeah.
It's a whole brand new song?
Yeah, it's a whole new song for the movie. It's an old school, like, 90s music
Do you think
video.
there's anything
and
that
cutting clips to it and
Do
everything.
you think there's anything that Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds wouldn't do to promote this film? Like this is like totally outside of the whole realm of Deadpool. They're just swinging for the fence right now.
I don't know what they wouldn't do because I mean, honestly, I think he's loving this right now.
Because the last Deadpool, they did the whole like Valentine's Day like rom-com type of.
But it was a rom-com technically. If you really, and it came out around it kind of was.
It did come out on Valentine's Day weekend, but I don't know if it was a
It was an action romantic comedy.
Action romantic comedy. When's the last time we saw an action romantic comedy?
A Hitman's Bodyguard.
True Lies.
Also with Ryan Reynolds.
Also with Ryan Reynolds, yes. And Sam Jackson's for that matter.
So this is totally outside of the whole Deadpool universe. Do you think there's what else like obscure thing that do you think they could do to market this movie?
Like that's the thing though. There's so much that I mean, I'm not a Deadpool fan. Unpopular opinion. I'm not a Deadpool fan.
I'm not a Deadpool fan.
And
oh my god.
It's because it's that character that can do anything just because. With no consequences.
Yes, no consequences at all. It's like he gets shot and nothing. It doesn't.
And it's just
like Wolverine.
And also it's just like reading the comic too. It's kind of like it never had me like.
It takes you out. It takes you out of the comic.
People
book,
get it, but
really?
it was never to me. It was never like very funny. It was
really?
just it's just kind of like okay, like you're eating a chimichanga. Okay, this is a gimmick. Like,
see, I think my problem is I'm a Deadpool fan, but I'm an OG Deadpool fan from like the '90s Deadpool run.
People that like Deadpool like the Big Bang
serious
Theory.
Deadpool.
The serious Deadpool, where he was like,
so you're saying the dude that copied Deathstroke?
I don't want to talk about that. But no, the one that when he got away from that, not the one that was part of like the X-Force run or the New Mutants run, the one where he got his own book, and it was like that's when they started bringing more of the comedy out of it. He had like the blind like roommate and everything like that. That was a really good run because he was more jokey like Spider-Man.
Who wasn't the lady from Star Trek?
Crazy.
I thought that was the lady from Star Trek.
Yeah,
That's
you're
not the
racist.
lady from Star Trek.
No.
Can we get a fact check on it? Is that the lady
It's
from
not
Star
the
Trek?
lady from Star Trek.
No.
I could have sworn that was the lady from Star
That's
Trek.
not the lady from Star Trek. You racist.
Yeah, I like old school Deadpool. The new school Deadpool, I appreciate. I'm happy like, he's found a fan base and everything like that. But I'm OG Deadpool. Like when he still stuck his mouth.
Well, I love Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool because he's perfect for it. However, I just don't like the character. I saw the first Deadpool movie. I'm not gonna lie, I almost fell asleep, but I thought it was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Thought it was good, but I never had a desire to watch it again. I still don't have a desire.
I don't
to
like
watch it.
Deadpool cosplayers. I hate Deadpool.
Why do you hate Deadpool?
I kind of agree with
They
them
are
on this
garbage.
stuff.
They're the
Why?
scum of the cosplay.
Well, I don't know
world.
about that. That's far.
What did they do?
I think that went too far.
They're just I don't know. They try to imitate Deadpool, try to imitate Ryan Reynolds, and it just comes off as annoying and stupid. Like, get on my face, I kind of want to punch you in the face, but then I'll get arrested and get kicked out of this car.
No, maybe it'll like if you break their arm, it'll be like, oh, you're fine. You're Deadpool.
Fine. You're
Go
Deadpool,
heal,
right?
remember?
You can heal yourself, so I can just stab you right now. That's a little violent.
That's pretty violent.
It's
I don't
very
know what's
violent.
going on with you.
Because they were in a police station. What happened? Oh, the Deadpool cosplayer came up, asked about chimichanga, and just got to stab him 3 times.
Yep.
So that's I mean that's pretty much Deadpool, and also it's like the funny thing about Deadpool is he's such an original character, but I feel like Deadpool cosplayers are the most unoriginal people.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's like all the same thing.
Yeah,
they all think
there's
they're
so
being
many
original.
of them. They're like a staple now. Like kind of like how Harley Quinn is. They're a staple. You'll see like maybe 10, 15 within the first 2 minutes of walking into a con.
I mean, we even made a gimmick, a funny joke out of it at Hashtag Show when we go to conventions. Let's make a bet where you can see more Harley Quinns, more Deadpools.
Yeah.
It should be.
I
It's
play the
a
same game. I
staple.
play the same game on my
It's
table
staple.
when I sit there. Yeah.
Harley Quinns and
But
Deadpool.
there was one thing that came out about Deadpool. What was it? It was the dude. That one guy.
Oh, the dude from
the civilian. The civilian.
T.J. Miller.
No, not T.J. Miller. The guy that doesn't have any powers. What's his
T.J.
name?
Miller.
No, man. Huh?
The Mohinder?
The dude, the dad. He's dressed up in like a button-up shirt. He's
Oh, that dude. Yeah. In the trailer. Yeah.
and people are speculating that he does actually have powers, and they'll manifest by the end of this film that he's actually a pretty important character. And
I actually kind of hope he doesn't have powers.
do you think so?
Well,
That last scene, I think the last trailer where he's kind of like skydiving, and he's just like with his.
It's hilarious.
And he's dressed up like a math teacher or something. He's just kind of like skydiving, looking all badass. Like this
I'm gonna
doesn't
see
fit.
this movie in like 2 weeks.
I thought you said 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm going to the premiere in New York.
oh,
Next
nice.
week.
Are you gonna stay away?
Is it next week?
What's the date next week?
I don't know. Now you're making me worried to like miss a flight now. Like I don't know. Let me make
Yeah,
sure.
it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago.
No. I'm pretty sure it's like the 14th.
The 14th is soon.
Yeah, it's like next week, right?
Yeah, next week.
Well, it's like then I'm going next week.
Yeah, he's
Is
gonna
it
go
really
see,
next week?
He's gonna see Deadpool next week.
Yeah, like next. It is next week, man.
And why in New York? I don't understand how it's getting dark.
I don't know why in New York. Let's see. Stall, because I really am curious about this Deadpool thing.
What was your favorite part about the? Do you like who they cast for the X-Force characters?
I gotta say I do. Like they look fun. Like think about this though, that like Domino looks exceptional well. I can't remember.
Shatterstar.
The Fortune
I don't like Shatter. I don't like the look of Shatterstar.
Why?
He just looks scrawny and like it looks like a muscle suit.
See, here's the thing though. Like the reason why.
Oh, you mean like Zach Levi?
Yeah.
The reason why I like it though is because like if you know the history of like X-Force and like Rob Liefeld who created him and everything like that, that's pretty much how you drew his characters. So when I look at that, I'm just
like
kind of
in the comics, he's a big dude, like a burly dude.
Yeah, he's like a big dude, but he's like kind of like a ninja. Like he's kind of like Cap in a way.
Do you think that they'll make him gay?
Is that what the story is in the comics?
He becomes gay later on. Yeah,
he becomes. You're born with you become
You
gay.
become-
Becomes
you
gay.
eventually-
The reason why I say that the artist Rob Liefeld, when he created the character, he didn't create with the intention of being gay, but the writer did create with the intention of being gay.
And it's him and Richter, right? Is it
Yeah,
him and Richter?
yeah, they're a couple.
I used to have a Shatterstar action.
Me too, and he had the dual hands,
Yeah.
like.
And
the dual blades and everything
for
like
some
that.
reason, I didn't think it was Shatterstar because I got it from like a thrift store. I was like, oh, it's Jean Grey. It's Jean Grey. I don't know why. It's because of the red hair. Or, I don't know.
All right, well, now we're going to talk about Avengers Infinity War. You can table that Avengers 4 thing for a second. We're going to talk about this. There is going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, I recommend going out and seeing the movie. But if you haven't seen the movie, then
What is
and you're
wrong
watching
with
this,
you?
I don't know. You're an idiot.
Like, it's in the title. It says spoiler review. I mean, go on.
But let's really talk about this movie. Now, there was an article on our website today posted by one of our writers, Daniel Nagami. He has a great theory. And actually, this picked up a lot of traction, believe it or not.
Did it?
It actually did.
Oh, wow.
And I'll pull it up, and we'll talk about this. But before we get into his article, I want to know.
It's weird because he was talking about it, but also when we watched the movie with Brax, he brought it up as well. Like it's
because it's true.
Yeah, some of the scenes are just.
But you know what? It's so funny because this was posted around in Marvel groups, and they are in denial of it. However, and the funny thing is, they're not necessarily even reading the article; they're reading the title, and I think that they're like, "Oh, this is nothing alike." And it's like in the article, it breaks down how they're alike and how some things aren't alike, but how some things are really alike.
Yeah, there's some strong similarities.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But how do you guys feel about this movie after watching it a second time?
It was funny. This is a side story. So I watched it the second time. This is just a funny story. I as soon as it ended, as soon as the titles or the credits started rolling, I was tired. I got up and started walking away. And like people don't know that was my second time watching. They're like, "Where the fuck are you going?" Like getting mad at me. I was like, "Peace." And then I just walked out. And they're like, as I'm going through like the little tunnel, I hear them. That dude's an idiot. He's never seen a Marvel movie before in his life. But
you should have just yelled out, "It's Captain Marvel!"
It's Captain Marvel's logo. It's not even.
It's an intergalactic pager.
It's a beeper. So yeah, this is a little fun story. But like walking out of it the second time, I was trying to listen to dialogue if there's something.
Yeah, me too. I went to go see it with Josh from #Show and one of our writers, Daniel Nagami, and it was pretty late too. And I thought I was going to be tired. However, the movie's still very engaging.
And it doesn't drag. The thing is,
Not
it
at
doesn't
all.
drag. It just keeps hitting you every single time with action scenes to the point where.
Josh made a great point. He said that this movie's very much like the way a comic book is.
Yeah.
Because it takes you from thing to thing, but it takes you. It's like an event, right? It moves so quickly. So, what did you think about it second time around?
I liked it. Like I sort of saw it like late night too, like about like at 12:30 after I run some errands and everything like that. I was like, oh, is there a show? I looked up before. I'm like, oh, cool. So I swung by ArcLight and went and checked it out.
12:30 p.m. a.m.
Yep. I went and checked it out, and I got a Coke in my hand and went to go watch it. And it was like,
Don't you teach the next morning?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it was dope. Like it still held up. Like you guys said, the pace.
Oh, and you also had Coke. You said so. You're good.
Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Coca-Cola. Not that kind of Coke. I'm not hanging with Josh. So anyway. So like it held up. It was like super fast paced. The story holds up. And like you guys said, I was listening for like dialogue, the nuances of it, because I want to like pick more of that background stuff. Because the first time you see it, legitimately, if you saw the opening night, people are applauding. Then when someone shows up on the screen, people are clapping, they're cheering, everything like that. So it was a lot more powerful to see it the second time around. Like I kind of like appreciate like the value of it. And honestly, I gained a great appreciation for Thanos' character.
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you call him Thanos and I call him Thanos?
Tomato.
Potato.
Detroit,
So here's an interesting thing, and this isn't to sound well. I haven't seen a movie with a normal crowd in a very long time. And the first time I saw this movie, it's true. First time I saw this movie was at the premiere. So you have to understand, that's people that worked on the movie. That's people that, like, you know, executives that are part of the movie. So, and they're just cheering for like anything, right?
Right.
So, and you would think that they have the greatest sound, and it doesn't necessarily. It's so loud. There's so many things I miss. Watching it the second time around, I'm so happy that I did, and I'm happy we went to a later showing because I heard everything this time. However, when I went back and watched it, I almost wished that there was going to be 3 Avengers movies instead of 2.
How come?
You mean Infinity War movies?
Yeah, take place. So here's originally what I would have done, and I know that a lot of people are completely going to disagree with me on this.
Go for it.
And I'm okay with that. But I think that Captain America Civil War should have been Captain America Civil War. Then they should have done an Iron Man Civil War, and then they should have done an Avengers Civil War. But and that should have built up over time. And what they should have done is started recruiting the TV heroes too, to make it a big, big battle, right? And then you see it from both sides of the point of view, and then you see the big epic battle in Avengers 3. And then build up to this Infinity War. However, doing this Infinity War, I think that they should have done 3 movies instead of, we know that it's going to be 2, but I know they're marketing it towards, this is Infinity War, and the next one is whatever it's going to be called. But I think it should have been 3 movies, mainly because they talk about Xandar and about how quick Thanos. Yeah, but Xandar is one of the biggest set pieces. It's the biggest set piece in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the whole reason.
Which one was Xandar?
It's the planet with the Nova Core.
It's the one that they saved.
The one that they saved, but they become the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you would have told the story of how Thanos takes over Xandar and made it more about Thanos and Gamora in the first movie, and even touched on the Peter Quill and Gamora relationship, because I felt
so then you feel a little bit more when Gamora, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we're gonna be into spoilers. Yeah, but what I was gonna think is, yeah, exactly, because I think that, and unless Guardians 3 touches on that time frame, I think that with Guardians 1 and 2, they kind of allude that there's like this hidden, non-spoken. They've been talking about in Guardians 2.
No, they even say unspoken
romance that Ted and Diane have,
but then you can't talk about it because then it's not unspoken.
Right,
Exactly.
but then they are on to like a flow. Yeah, but then they're on, and in this movie they're on to a full blown like I love you more than anything. And to me it was kind of like
out of nowhere.
Where'd this come from?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think Groot's little like time frame is when he's growing? Like, do you think it's like pretty quick?
Well, I mean, I don't know
because he's the thing to look at for how many years have gone by since Guardians 2.
I mean, look, the Goldman vision says if they included Xandar in the beginning of the film, it'd have messed up the film.
4 years.
I agree with you. That's why I said that they should have done it in 3 different movies instead of doing exactly what we got. Because the end of the first movie could have been Thanos attacking Thor's ship, and that could have been what we saw a lot of the second movie. I also think that, listen, I like the movie, but some of the character interactions are too quick. Some of the characters are thrown in there just to be thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like Winter Soldier.
Winter
Soldier was like
Captain America.
Yeah, his whole team was
the Secret Avengers. Yeah.
It was pointless.
I feel like that's a whole journey. And another thing that kind of doesn't. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. Is that the whole Wanda and Vision thing?
Yeah, I didn't like
the last time we saw them, they were on 2 opposite sides.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, now we have
they had like a 10-15 second thing where they're cooking something.
Yeah, where he like made her some soup.
Yeah, but even after that, they're on 2 different sides of the fight, and then somehow, however, they find each other and get back together. What? Like,
yeah, we need to find out what happened between when Captain America releases his team and them like going back into the real world.
And to piggyback off of Joe, I would have loved to see that though, because in the comics they do this whole thing called Secret Avengers, where you notice Cap's outfit was like a darker version of his outfit. He grew the beard out.
He rolled up his sleeves.
Exactly. You still see the star, but it's like, because he's going undercover, they're all these like lowbrow missions, because they're still heroes, they're still out there. They have a Quinjet, and so I would love to see that.
Is that the Quinjet that him and Bucky stole?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. And to piggyback off Joe's point, like I agree with you, because like one of the problems with that is that as they shown the destruction of Xandar, shown that, and then they communicated to the Guardians of the Galaxy, that would increase the emotional investment for them, because that's the thing that brought them together as a team. And so all of a sudden they're like, well, that was our first thing we saved. He's like, he took this from us. They would have been more invested in like taking down Thanos in a way.
Yeah. So I mean, there was things that I feel that like if there was 3 movies, it would have been a little bit better. What is that? What is he showing you there?
Chicken pepper cash, not soup, damn it.
Chicken pepper cash, yeah, not soup.
What are you guys talking? What?
This
What his vision was making for in that big pot.
Oh, okay.
chicken pepper cash, not soup, bro.
All right.
This is his favorite dish. Favorite
Did I
dish.
say soup?
He said soup.
Oh.
But I think that
good.
yes, there were 2 years between Civil War and Infinity War. I understand that, but I also think there's a lot of missing things here that could have been tied up a lot nicer, and it would have had more of an impact. However,
who was your favorite?
you know what? Maybe instead of doing an Avengers movie, in 3 Avengers movies, they should have done a Thanos movie, and they should have had Thanos be the protagonist.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what Guardians 3 is going to be. Since they said that they want to focus on Gamora, maybe it's not so much a direct sequel to Guardians 3 or Guardians 2 or
well, like the second Guardians takes place right after the first Guardians. So maybe the third Guardians takes place right after that, completing that trilogy, and then their finale is in Infinity War 4 or
do you think Guardians 3 is going to be used as a handoff to Starhawk and his team?
I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
You think they're even going to do anything with that?
I have a prediction, but this is a wild one.
With Starhawk and his team?
No. I think Guardians 4 is going to end up being... I think it's going to end up being Ronan the Accuser. I think he's going to end up coming back.
Okay.
I think it's going to end up being Cosmo the dog. I think it's going to end up being Beta Ray Bill. And the people that... There was a team called the Annihilators. And I think the Annihilators are essentially going to be the next Guardians.
Ronan the Accuser, though, is boring as shit.
Well, we're gonna see. His story gets fleshed out in Captain Marvel. He'll be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but he's like one of the worst Marvel villains that they've had so far.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, right behind like the Elf and the Elf from Thor: Dark World, and who else? Who else was a weak villain? The dude from Doctor Strange.
Calasius or whatever.
Yeah.
Caecilius.
That's one good thing to take away from this film is Thanos was. And he's not so much a villain, but he's probably the most, he has the most character development, and you feel for him a little bit.
Hashtag Jezzer hater.
Why can't I have opinions on things without you writing up that freaking hashtag thing?
You know who might also show up in the next movie is the Nova. Nova the hero.
Nova. Yeah.
Yeah, because with the Nova Corps being destroyed.
But what's going to power them?
So that's going to be interesting because a lot of times, sometimes their helmets, in the comics, the last time the Nova Corps was destroyed, all the power got centralized into one suit. And so that could happen again. And then, in the comic book, what ended up happening is Gamora and Rocket ended up delivering the last black Nova Corps helmets, this kid who inherited it and whatnot. So that could be happening again. They could be tying that together.
Is John C. Reilly dead?
I hope not. I don't think so. I think John C. Reilly.
Close.
I don't know. She might be. I think John C. Reilly's character is going to be the one that starts the Nova Corps. And I think that he's going to be a part of that. Because Kevin Feige did say, he told comicbook.com that Nova is one of the films that he's fast-tracking. This is something we talked about last week on this show. And I think that Nova Corps would be a great, Richard Rider Nova Corps.
It would be
I think it's going to be
Sam Alexander.
I think it's going to be Sam because the only reason why I say it is because of the success of Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then want to bring in that younger audience or whatnot and everything.
Do you think they're gonna interact?
I think you might be right. You might be 100% right. I do think it's gonna be Richard though.
I kind of hope for Sam. They go younger and bring in some teenage guy who's trying to figure it out and everything like that. Because if that goes well, because they're doing Captain Marvel, that could fast track maybe a couple other movies. For example, they haven't talked about Phase 4 yet. But there's a lot of books doing well in Marvel.
It's not Phase 4. It's post Phase 3.
Post Phase 3. But yeah, that's what I said. They haven't announced Phase 4 yet. So for their Phase 4, one of the things they could be announcing
post Phase 3. They're not calling it Phase 4.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm saying after post Phase 3. Okay. But when they finally do call it Phase 4, I'm calling they might be doing a Miss Marvel movie. And then Miss Marvel runs around with teenage Nova.
I don't think so.
You don't think they're doing Miss Marvel movie?
No, I think if they're going to do Miss Marvel, I think it's going to be a TV show.
Why? How come?
Not interesting enough or something?
No, I think that because here's the thing. If you're going to do a Miss Marvel character, you're going to want to take it. You're going to want that Spider-Man vibe that's going to be in high school. And I think you already have Spider-Man for that. I don't think they're going to do 2 movies with 2 characters in high school.
Yeah.
And I noticed that.
What was that? There's that Spider-Man series where Nova and
and it's Luke Cage or
Luke Cage,
Power Man or something.
Oh, he's trying to be an Avenger or something.
Oh yeah, that show. The Spider-Man Disney show. Yeah.
What I think is going to happen though, and again, this is all we're all speculating here. We don't know.
Speculation.
I think there's a good chance that because Spider-Man has become the heart and soul of the MCU.
Okay.
He has quickly become the heart and soul.
Oh, yeah,
of the
he's
MCU.
the heart and soul of the comic books for years.
Right, and this is the closest version of the Spider-Man that everyone's always wanted that we've gotten. Right, so I think that with that, I don't think you're going to do another similar character because you essentially going to have Kamala Khan. And I think that's something that's going to be a little bit brand confusion if they have Captain Marvel the movie too.
And Miss Marvel the thing.
Yeah.
I give you that. I can see that. And the reason why I was like, I couldn't because working on TV shows is because of special effects, but maybe they'll just save that for later. Maybe because again, after they finish the Spider-Man Homecoming movies, maybe they move on with maybe they come back years later and bring it back Miss Marvel. But yeah.
What series do you think Miss Marvel could be? Maybe like
Miss Marvel. I think she's going to be in her own series called Miss Marvel.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see it after.
You don't think that they put her into a group that's already?
Well, they're going to have to alter things up a little bit, and here's the reason why. I think they'll have Miss Marvel, and I think the series is going to spin out of the movie, and it's going to be about this girl that's like, I really look up to this Captain Marvel character, and she becomes Miss Marvel. However, they're going to have to tweak things. Now, we know the Inhumans do exist because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans TV show, which wasn't very good. So hopefully when Thanos did this, he snapped all of them away as well, and they don't come back. So that's a possibility. But I'm not sure, I mean, if she's still going to be an Inhuman or if this Disney deal passes and maybe they make her a mutant.
So let me ask you guys this, though. Exactly, I would agree with you. Because you think the reason why they keep saying post-phase 3 is because right now they just want to wait to see if the deal goes through. When I say the deal goes through, Disney buying Fox and see if they're going to get the rights back to say Fantastic Four.
So Phase 4 will be the Fantastic Four logo. Phase 4, where Reed Richards is going to play a huge role in the next phase.
That would be dope.
As John Krasinski?
Yeah. No, we'll figure that out later.
I don't know. I think I hope that is the case because I would love to see the Fantastic Four. I mean, Marvel, though we talk about a lot of their A-list characters, right? And that's fine, and they've done a great job with the characters they have. However, even if I think the deal is going to happen, but even if Marvel doesn't want to dive right into that, they do such a great job on using their C-listers, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and executing them so well that if they gave us something like I don't know if they made Volstagg Thor, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like they could really pull anything out, and I'm on board for it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree with you, but I love when they get a chance to use their A-list characters though, because I feel they do the A-list characters like. They just do them right. Like, for example, like in Spider-Man Homecoming, like you said, he's become the heart and soul of the MCU now because he's been done so right, so respectfully. And the other day, we were all talking about, like, our top 5 Marvel movies, and we all had our different, like, number ones and whatnot, but the one thing that was all common, we all said Captain America Civil War. Sorry,
Winter Soldier.
Sorry.
We did not say Captain America Civil War.
We said Captain America's Winter Soldier, and the what is was that for me personally, I feel that was one movie that got Captain America the most right. And so I think like when they get a chance to do like their A-list characters, again, I agree with you. They do their B and C-list and D-list characters, amazing, better than I ever expected. When they get those like heart and soul of the Marvel Universe characters on screen, damn, they do a good job. Way better than DC.
Yes. Now I do want to talk about we spoke about, and I brought this up at the beginning of our Infinity War talk. Daniel Nagami wrote this article on our website, and I'm going to post it right here in the link, or not in the chat, so you guys can check it out. It's actually a great read. And I want everybody to check it out if you can. Now, I don't know if anybody picked up on this, but a few of us did when we saw the movie. Avengers Infinity War storyline was taken from the 1986 Transformers movie. Bear with me now, and I can say that, and everyone's like, what?
I remember when Daniel was writing this, he's like, really? What the? He's just focusing on it. So
but even after it, I mean, yes, this article does have... I'm sorry, the Transformers movie does have similarities, but in the article it states very clearly that there's also differences as well.
Oh, of course there's differences.
So let's talk about some of the similarities. Let's talk about what they took. Johnny, what are some of the similarities from Infinity War and Transformers, the 1986 movie?
Well, like the biggest one is like one visual moment. So think about this, for anybody who watched the Transformers movie as a kid, you know the moment your childhood dies when you saw Optimus Prime lose the Matrix and die right there on the table. And how do you remember Optimus Prime dying? When the Matrix is taken from his chest to give Ultra Magnus, you see that red and blue like robot that you grew up loving go all gray. So when you watch Avengers Infinity War, what happens when the Vision gets the Mind Stone taken out of him?
He turns into a gray husk.
He turns into a gray husk and drops to the ground. And so that's like one simulator right there. In addition to that, though, in the Transformers movie, you get a young group of heroes who are like unproven going to space. So you get Hot Rod going to space to try to prove himself and everything like that. What happens in this movie? You get Spider-Man going to space with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, like a young group of heroes, except for Iron Man going to space or whatnot, trying to like go fight off this intergalactic threat.
And they run into.
And so think about it. So if you think about the Transformers movie, they meet a group of idiots and
Wheelie and
Wheelie, and then when you go into the movie, guess what? They also meet a group of idiots in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So think about this. So there's a lot of parallels when you like compare the two. Like I was skeptical at first, but when we started to sit down and think about it, you're like, man,
it does make a lot of sense.
This.
The villain too. The villain was Unicron,
who's a planet eater and who's a like galaxy destroyer and things like this. And so when you look at Thanos pretty much will wipe out half the galaxy.
That scene where on the ship, I think it's like an Autobot ship, where Ironhide and Ratchet die in the very beginning scene. That's kind of like Loki and Idris Elba's character.
That's exactly right, and they both start off the movie that way.
Yeah, it starts off like that. That's how it starts the whole film. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, so there's a ton.
I see you.
There's one more, and then there's also like when the big hero shows up to kind of change the tide of the battle. So in Transformers, that's when Optimus Prime gets out the ship, and starts driving down, starts shooting the Decepticons, flip in the air. They start playing "You Got the Touch" and everything like that. Then you go to this movie with Avengers. The big one, Thor comes down with his hammer, swing that bad boy around, change the tide of the battle. So
eventually we can do a "You Got the Touch" moment. And then cut that into the trailer of
when the movie comes out, so we'll have like a
exactly
like people listen as much as and this was posted in some Facebook groups, and a lot of hardcore Marvel fans were in such denial. However, now we're talking about this,
it's plausible. It's plausible.
But people were in denial of it?
Yeah, and it's like, well, the evidence is right here. You can just watch the movie, and you can see the similarities.
And I mean, let's be honest, though. It's not like Transformers the movie is a bad movie.
No.
The thing about it is, though, it was a kid's movie, but it had a lot of adult elements to it and everything like that. And so there's some things that if you're borrowing from it, you're borrowing from a good source. So you can't even be that mad at it.
I see you, Russo brothers. I see what you're doing.
I know. This is probably why I didn't want to screen the movie before the junket, because I would have asked him these questions exactly, and then I'm like, damn it, we got caught.
Wait, so there was a thing...
Shut it down now!
Remember we were talking about there's a thing where they said they had like an Arrested Development.
There was. So
okay.
You guys know about this?
So we mentioned it, and I was watching. So I watched it the second time around.
You see it?
No, I keep looking for. I'm like, where is it?
All right. So
what is it?
Do you remember? What's the dude's name that would always color himself blue just for when he would get an audition for?
Never Nude guy.
Yeah. The Never Nude guy. Tobias. He was.
You should cosplay that guy.
You should cosplay him, Josh. Tobias was in the collector's, one of the collector's things.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was him?
It was him.
Oh.
As himself.
The reason why they did it though is because the Russo brothers directed a bunch of episodes for Arrested Development.
Oh, they directed like a whole season.
Yeah, they directed like a whole season. So they put that Easter egg in there, and it's Tobias in one of those.
So did they cast him and bring him in?
Yeah, they put him in and everything.
Oh, damn.
That's cool.
Tobias Bluth, yeah.
I need to see now. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, like literally, I've almost forgot about that scene, and I was like, oh, it's the Tobias scene.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I love that, by the way. I love when Marvel does things like that. Like I love the Howard the Duck thing. I love the Stan Lee stuff. I like the cheesy stuff like that too.
When do you think they filmed that Stan Lee scene? Like way early on in the series?
Yeah.
Like, let's. They probably have just a bunch of like back stuff.
It was definitely before that Comic-Con where that Bleeding Cool article came out.
Which one?
He was just like looked blank and didn't.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like he's like, oh, let's have a bus scene. Maybe something further down the line in a future movie, we'll have like Peter Parker on a bus, and then they use him for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I'm pretty sure when they first start filming a movie, that's probably one of the first things they try to wrap out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And then there's people in the film that got like 2 minutes of screen time. How much do you think they got paid? Like Pepper Potts and
I mean, look, realistically, I'm happy that they were in the movie because listen, and this is the one thing that we can't, and this is actually, I had an argument about this, and now I'm kind of going back on that. But Marvel's done something a lot different. This isn't necessarily the way movies are anymore. We've evolved now, right? Mm-hmm. So this is half movie, half TV show kind of. So it's kind of like you have to take the serialization of what this movie is and understand it for what it is. It's not, I wouldn't even call it a movie as much as it is an event.
I agree.
Like this isn't something where, but funny enough, I tried watching it the second time around with a clear mind of like, okay, pretend I've never seen any other Marvel movie. Does it still make sense? It does actually. I mean, you don't necessarily understand all the characters, but at the very least, you understand Thanos' motivations, and that's what really matters. Because Thanos is technically the main character of the movie. And
Yes.
I would think one of the best... Marvel's stepped up their game when it comes to villains now. Like, Killmonger has one of the best lines I've ever heard. Right before he dies at the end of Black Panther.
What is it?
When he says...
Buried in the ocean with my ancestors who knew
bondage was better than better than death.
Death was better than
death was better than bondage. Yeah. One of the best lines. However, one of the most touching scenes in this, one of the most the things that got me the most was that when Small Gamora comes out and she says, "What did it cost you?" and he says, "Everything." I think that tells you that the character. I mean, look, realistically, his motivations may I not have agreed with him. I understand what he was trying to do.
Oh, of course.
Why? Okay. If the Infinity Gauntlet was so powerful, why couldn't he just increase the universe space or increase the resources on the universe?
That is a good point.
Because I don't think Thanos was that smart to think about that.
Yeah. I feel like
maybe you should have been one of the children of Thanos and just said that.
Like, or it should have been.
You'd have been his little Tyrion Lannister.
It should have been Squidward's thing. It's like, hey, why don't we just like make infinite resources with the gauntlet?
Yeah, because the thing about this is by literally half the universe.
Because that's more work for him. Maybe he's just like, you know what?
It's not his figure. Because if you think about it, by eliminating half the universe, we're going to have the same problem in a few generations again. Mm-hmm. Had he made infinite resources,
he eliminates the universe and also sterilizes everybody with that one snap of his fingers.
There you go.
But that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, time out. There has to be another way to do this. Why doesn't he just like make more planets or make these planets have like infinite resources?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Rejuvenates. But to go to your point, Joe, I agree with you. Because the thing about this is that like we are in this weird age where television is more like movies in a way. Where we get like these like cinematic seasons of shows, things like Mad Men, like 24 Hours.
Did you just really mention Mad Men?
Mad Men's a good show. All right, but the thing about this is that like when you look to this movie though, it is an event because the thing about this as a movie by itself, you can't follow the storyline and everything like that. But there's subtle things that you won't appreciate unless you've seen like the previous stories. Mm-hmm. Like you don't understand why Cap coming back to the team is such a big deal. You don't understand why Gamora finally kissing Star-Lord is like
Peter
such a big
Quill.
deal. There's like small little nods here and there which you really don't understand unless you've seen the whole run. Like when Bucky has to put on become a soldier again, he's like, "Where's the fight at?" And you see this anguish on his face because you understand like all the stuff he's gone through.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the cool thing about it is because it's like serialization, like you said. By leading up to this and building up this through the past 10 years, you get a movie that's like literally 10 years in the making that's been upon all this rich history, which is like a comic book. Like the cool thing about crossover comic books is that like you get all these like little nods and Easter eggs to all the stuff that's been happening, all contained in one big thing. And to go to Josh's point earlier, I totally agree. Like the movie was like a comic because like as you turn the page, you kept moving to different locations after locations. Mm-hmm. So props to the Russo brothers, props to Kevin Feige.
Someone in the comments said, "Why didn't they bring? When are they going to bring in Lady Death?"
So I asked the Russos that exactly, and they said never. It's not.
It doesn't make any sense to bring her in.
Lady Death.
Like I mean, that was his whole motivation. Lady Death. Here, it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
He doesn't seem because it kind of makes. In the comics, it kind of makes Thanos seem like a moron.
We got a question from Blackbird. He says, "Did y'all like the romance in the movie?" Funny enough, I actually thought the romance in the movie was the most boring stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the slowest scene for sure was definitely the Vision and Wanda scene,
which is terrible. I didn't like that.
That's the only scene I really didn't like either. But you needed it though because it leads you somewhere, right? It leads you to them. By the way, besides New York, when they're in like. When they're in
Prague or something?
No. Besides New York, because they're in what part of New York are they in? They're in like Greenwich Village.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that scene, there are no other people in the movie. Like, you see a train pass by. There's nobody in Scotland when they're walking the streets.
No.
There's nobody in the movie. Well, besides the Avengers and people in Wakanda.
Well, the only reason why in Wakanda actually explained it, they evacuated.
It costs too much. It costs too much to cast extras.
It costs too much to put extras in.
Like there was that one lady that Tony saved.
That's what I mean. There's only that one scene in New York when all that stuff happens.
Uh-huh.
But did Doctor Strange stop time? Because he did something to the ship.
He cleared clouds.
The debris and stuff like that.
Yeah, he cleared the clouds.
Yeah.
I thought he stopped time, and then he didn't stop time.
No.
He just
cleared the debris and everything.
Orange, time is green.
Yeah.
I knew he did something. I just didn't know what it was.
No, and then he looks at
gives Tony a wink.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what did you do? I don't see what you just did.
Question:
Okay.
Do you guys feel like the effort and the investment they had to save Vision was earned? Because think about this, I remember
It's pointless. That whole team, that whole segment, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, same thing. Because like when I'm watching, they're like, it's like this is Vision. Like we put our life for Vision. I'm like, the fuck did he do? Well, he showed up in Avengers: Age of Ultron. In the last like 20 minutes, he was in Civil War and he fought against us.
Well, he killed
and I'm just
Ultron.
like, and that's it. And now we're here.
Do you think that they were trying to pull on your heartstrings with it? You trying to get you in the mindset it's not Vision, it's Jarvis.
I don't know.
I didn't make that connection.
I didn't either because now Vision is so disremoved from Jarvis to me.
Yeah. Had it been Jarvis, I probably would have cared.
Yeah, I would have cared.
Well, because it was Vision, I was kind of like...
Because even when Jarvis gets taken out by Ultron, I care.
Kill the robot. Yeah. I'll be real. If it was Friday, I would care.
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care about Friday?
No.
Friday's cool.
No. I actually wish that the AI in Spider-Man suit was Jocasta, or either in Tony's suit was Jocasta.
What if they took out Captain America's and his group story?
Well, you needed a little bit to set the groundwork for the next movie. Now we can't necessarily say, because this is supposed to be 2 movies, right?
Yeah.
And the cool, and like I even thought about this, and I was like, man,
the whole Wakanda thing seemed like...
I was like, well, we gotta wait a year till we get the next one. That's a long time. But is it? Because I've been waiting about 2 years for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's
so. I mean,
it's not that bad at all. 1 year is up. We did the same thing with Lord of the Rings. And by the way, to go to your point about Transformers, because people were like, well, Transformers ended this way. Nah, bruh. If you think about comparing this to the Transformers movie, this is the exact halfway point. This is where Ultra Magnus dies on that planet. And it looks like they've lost the Matrix and everything like that. And Galvatron gets the Matrix and flies off to space. This is exactly the halfway point. So
he's still going back to it.
It's the Hey, no joke.
So who's Hot Rod?
Hot Rod? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's going to be Hot Rod? So he's gonna like... move up to this next level where he's super important in the film?
Well, you know what? He might. Because here's the thing, because, like, be real with you. Because, again, you guys know I teach. And so I was talking about the movie with my students, like, in class. And they were all talking about, oh, mister, did you cry? I was like, who the heck did y'all cry for? They were, like, all saying, Spider-Man. I was like, seriously? And I was like, because I get to see it and everything. But it's like, but they all cry for Spider-Man. He's, like you say, he's become the heart and soul of the MCU in a way.
See, the reason I didn't feel anything for that is, you already know there's going to be a sequel to his film. They had early on before, they had Black Panther disappear. They wouldn't get rid of Black Panther right away. So all those people disappearing, it was mute because they got rid of 2 characters that they still have plenty of story to tell.
Well, I think that's kind of funny, actually. I honestly think Kevin Feige and Marvel did not expect Black Panther to be so successful. Because for sure they're like... Well, as soon as they got this, they're like, yes, we made a ton of money. But they were like, hey, we're done with Infinity War. He's like, fuck. We've got to go shoot more Wakanda stuff.
Exactly.
We need bring back Winston Duke. Let's bring back, Letitia Wright. We need more Wakanda stuff.
Yeah, and
knew
in the theater.
We need to this whole Doctor Strange scene. We're just going to film it at Harlem. We're just going to film it at Harlem and do what we got to do.
You knew because both times I saw the movie, every time like one of the Black Panther characters came on screen, everybody was cheering.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally.
But listen.
And honestly, can we jump ahead when people started disappearing? I remember, like, the first person I can't remember who the very first person disappeared. Like, they kind of like, I think it was Bucky. Bucky Spade was like, oh, well, fuck him. It was like, do you leave the arm? But then when, like, Black Panther disappeared. Like,
and the Rocket's looking around, is the arm gone too?
Exactly. But the moment that Black Panther disappeared, was like, you cannot die here. It was like, everyone was like, no! It was like, not T'Challa! It was like, that was the moment that kind of got everybody.
Yeah, not only that, but I also think, and I understand why they did it, but I knew that this was going to happen. As soon as Black Panther hit and became such a success, and you're not going to see all those characters for a longer amount of time, and you're going to see them in like little cameos, I knew that people were going to be like, oh, I wish we had more. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, heck,
you almost have to set yourself up for that. But I'm just happy, though, that like...
Comes out in 5 days.
What does?
On DVD, yeah.
I know, I'm so stoked.
And you know what's dope?
They just sent me one. I'm so stoked.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Because we get saw this end. They just released the bonus footage. Yeah. Like some of it online, and some of the bonus footage is amazing. It just adds more to layers to the story.
Black Panther was such a good movie too. It's so good.
Like, that was another one.
Is it still in theaters, by the way?
I feel like it's in some like theaters. Yeah,
I think so.
Jeez,
it was when we went to go see Avengers that night on Tuesday. It was playing at the Chinese theater.
It was, and you know what's crazy? It did like another 4 million that weekend because a lot of people want to go see it before they want to see.
See, easy. This is easy
smart
for them.
It's smart.
No, it is still in theaters. And I was gonna say another thing too is what's crazy.
Dude, it's how many months?
It's playing. Oh wow, it's playing the local theater still in
5 months. 5 months.
Still playing.
No, I'm sorry.
Three.
4 months. Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah,
it's back in the top 10.
That's crazy.
There it is.
I love that.
Oh my god.
Wakanda forever. But what's crazy is again to give props to Black Panther when we discussed like our top 5 movies.
X-Force.
We all well X Factor. It was like we all had differing.
Themyscira.
Xena. So we all had like
X-Men.
Josh. So
DX.
So we all had like differing opinions about like what our top 5 were, but there were some common threads. We all said Captain America: Winter Soldier, and we all said Black Panther.
Yeah,
and it was one of those great movies.
Pretty consistently too was Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I felt like that.
Wait,
was
someone said that they like Guardians of the Galaxy too? Was that Sean?
I think
that
it might
was
have
somebody.
been Sean.
No, Sean's like, wait,
He
why?
has bad taste in things.
Yeah.
But like I think that one of the cooler things in this movie that was handled very, very well was they did do their best to balance the characters. And I understand that we haven't seen the second part, so maybe we might not have got a lot of Captain America in this movie.
But maybe they're super heavy on.
Well, the next movie for sure is gonna have like. There's no coincidence here that the original 6 Avengers didn't disappear.
Exactly.
The movies, you almost start your big epic buildup. Also, one cool thing about this movie is that Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, all these different properties, Black Panther, Spider-Man, all these different properties fit. And you might not think, do they really fit all together in the same? They do. They fit perfectly together in this movie.
And you know what's really dope too? I agree with you because the thing about this is there's a lot of people say they can't get into comic books because like it's so hard to get into comic books. Like where do I start it and everything like that. But Kevin Feige's built a comic book universe where he's like showing people like, look, if you're invested, you will figure out a way to go learn the stuff. So people want to go see this movie. They went and saw Black Panther. They went to watch the key things. And like they even did a marathon, which one of our Tony, she went through.
They wasn't all the movies. Though.
Exactly. I was gonna say they cut out the ones you didn't need.
I disagree with that.
Cutting them out?
No, they didn't cut out just the ones you didn't need. They cut
Incredible
out
Hulk was in there.
Well, Spider-Man wasn't in it.
Spider-Man was in it.
There was a movie that was it Civil War then?
Civil War was in it too.
There was a movie that I was like, oh, I'm surprised that that's not in it because it's an important one that you'd have.
But they did put there's a way to do it where you can put it together. We can like if you want to learn and go back and figure something out, you can totally do it. And they've shown that with this movie. Like people, the average person will learn continuity to go watch a movie, and that's dope. Like we can now go have conversations.
It's not really an excuse, I don't think.
Also, so I was back to before I even went on that tangent, I said something and I don't remember what it was, but. I think that the movie did a great job at balancing for what they could with all the characters they had, and I think that there's no surprise here. But the original 6 Avengers haven't disappeared, and you'd have to assume. Let's talk about speculation into the next movie. You have to assume that Hawkeye's family disappeared, and he got home and he's like, "What the fuck?" And
I think he was there when it happened.
Yeah, for sure. He sees them, and he's like, "What happened?" And then he's probably gonna go off and do his own thing and become like this crazy guy. To keep the memory of his family alive. And I think that he's going to play an important part. I also think that obviously we just talked about Ant-Man. We talked about possibly Hank disappearing. Possibly Hope.
Is Hope smart? Is she a genius?
Sorry again?
Is Hope a genius?
She's smart.
She's not Shuri or Tony Stark, but she's smart.
But in the real talk, though, if you think about the history of the Avengers, the Ant-Man and the Wasp have always been a part of it, but Wasp has always been like the heart and soul of the team. So going back to we could lose Scott at the end of Ant-Man. We could lose Scott at the end of Ant-Man, and then Wasp goes to join the team.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there's all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with
right.
Scott with the other Avengers.
Yeah, there's been speculation. We don't want to give spoilers, but there's been things that have been said. So
yeah. So I think it's going to focus heavily on the people that weren't a big focus in this last one. Also, somebody that's there that I really am stoked about.
Nebula.
No, is Rocket. He's like him and Nebula are like technically the only 2 Guardians left, and just seeing Rocket having to fit in with the original Avengers is going to be great.
It is, but you know what's really hilarious? Like, so I was taking a minute. I was rewatching Guardians 2 the other day, and I was seeing like how the Rocket's whole storyline there was him trying to like figure out how to fit in with the family because he kept rejecting her because he didn't want love and everything like that, right? And I was just watching like, son of a bitch. James Gunn kind of wrote this leading into Avengers because here he loses the entire team, and so now Rocket, who he just accepted his family, who he loves, has now lost the entire team, and now he's fighting to get his family back.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fucking shit, that's good writing.
Character development.
Which is crazy because now the cool thing about this, so it kind of puts Guardians 2 in a different light. Like if you can put this, attach this in a way. Like I know
does it make it better?
That's what I'm saying. Like for me, it made it a little bit better. It's not in my top 5, but it did make it rise a couple notches on my list. I was like, shit.
So this movie did the same thing because Doctor Strange isn't near the top of my list either.
I did not enjoy Doctor
But
Strange.
I think that this movie makes Doctor Strange better. And it makes Doctor Strange more of a likable character, and it makes his character make sense why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And the cape is like its own character on its own.
The cape is the shit.
His cape saves him like a ton of times.
The cape is
It's
legit
more of a
like
hero than
magic
Doctor
carpet.
Strange.
Yeah, it is.
The blanket of death, as Drax calls him.
Yeah.
Get off, you blanket of death!
A friend of mine, the writer James Wright, who does Nutmeg, posted a great tweet today. He's a Black Cigar Bolticon on Twitter. He posted a great tweet. He says, "Not all heroes wear capes. Some capes are heroes." It was like, well, there you go. That applies.
It was brilliantly done with that. Now let's talk about going into this. Let's talk about where you think Avengers 4 is going to go.
It's gonna be like 5 years in the future. No one's gonna remember, and only Scott, like I said, only Scott and Hope are gonna know. And they're gonna try to remind the Avengers, hey, you guys are missing people, or something bad has happened. You guys need to fix this.
Well, we know there's time jump.
Of course, there's gonna be time. I agree that there's gonna be time travel. I think Captain Marvel's gonna play that big role because, like, Fury called her, which means she's like the last ditch effort. So that means that when shit gets really bad, that's his like bailout plan. So I think she's gonna play a big role. She's gonna help guide the Avengers, and I think we're gonna see the Avengers probably go to space because we're gonna go find Thanos and probably use the gauntlet to kind of undo a lot of this. So I think we're gonna see them like going to space with a ship and everything like that. She'll be guiding through like.
Well, I mean, how did Nebula get to Titan? So Nebula can get Captain America back home. Or
No,
Iron Man back home.
Well, yeah, Iron Man has Nebula's ship. He also has the remains of that ship, and he has the Guardians of the Galaxy ship that's there as well.
You know, there's an interesting. This is going to be crazy, and it's like a crackpot theory. So none of this, excuse me, none of this is like substantiated in evidence. But what if? Just what if? Doctor Strange says that there's 14,318 ways, or whatever the fuck it was, that he saw this playing out. But there's only one way they win. And he tells Tony Stark and Parker on the ship, he's like, if it comes down to you and the kid dying before the gem, I'm going to choose the gem over you and the kid, right? He doesn't do that.
That was before he did the whole 14 million thing.
It was before that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tony Stark's important to live.
Obviously, in the one thing, in the one reality where they survive or where they win, Tony Stark is alive.
Yeah.
Well, he's alive to a point. So what if they go back in time? Tony Stark, because in the set photos from Avengers 4, they're in the Battle of New York again, and they're in the well, that's already out there for people that are watching this show. They're in the Battle of New York again, and it's them in their different costumes, but it's Tony Stark looking like he's like in a shield uniform or something. What if Tony Stark takes that nuke missile up and doesn't come back, and just like, you know what, I'm guiding this towards Thanos?
I agree.
What if that happens and that's the way he destroys Thanos?
That's what I was thinking.
That's a theory, right?
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Another theory is, what if Captain America stays in the past? However, the Skrull Captain America is the one that we've been getting. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, what? It's a Skrull. Our next big thing's going to be Secret Invasion. Because I already know the Skrulls are going to play a part. The Skrulls are going to play a part in Captain Marvel.
Right.
So who's to say that they're not going to be setting up Secret Invasion for the next big thing?
My only reason why I would say they might not do that is because up until now, they've borrowed storylines from the comic books that have proven to be like successful, and Secret Invasion was very polarizing. Like, there's some people who like it, but a lot of people say it fell flat and they didn't do a good job.
Regardless,
I like the theory, but I would say that's the only.
Regardless of that, we think. I mean, Marvel has done a way of where they just use the name of a comic storyline and take little pieces of that stuff.
Yeah,
the Civil War comic is nothing. The Civil War comic only has one thing in common: the Accords, which isn't even called the Accords in Civil War, the comic book.
It's the Mutant Registration.
It's the Superhero Registration Act or whatever. So I mean, there's very little that was like really taken from the other thing.
Well, I mean, from Civil War, there are some like more similarities. Like there are like, is it B for B the same? Hell no. But there are a lot of similarities taken away from it. Everything that with Cap versus Iron Man, everything like that. But yeah, so
I mean, like that whole Winter Soldier thing was completely different. That wasn't even in Civil War.
No.
So there's a possibility that it could all just be a big thing. I also think all the Avengers contracts are up, except two of them are rumored to be sticking around
out of the
six. But
the piggyback on what you're saying is going with theories and whatnot, because we're going to comic book storylines and everything like that. There's a point where T'Challa steps down as Black Panther and is like vacant for a while, and it comes up for debate about who's going to be the next Black Panther, and a lot of people go for the suit. So my theory is not permanently, but maybe for like the next movie for the beginning part, we might see serious Black Panther.
I think Shuri's gonna be the next Iron Man.
Oh, Riri Williams.
Shuri.
I'll see the connection.
I think she's gonna be the next like predecessor to Iron Man.
I hope she's Black Panther, but either way, though,
I think Stark becomes the next Jarvis.
Really?
And it's gonna be I think that he's gonna be like her version of Jarvis.
He's gonna input his consciousness into a machine.
That's
possibly.
That's a lot easier for Robert Downey Jr. to show him just a voiceover work.
Then again, maybe there's no. I mean, there could be no Iron Man going forward, and technically it could be Peter, because Peter and Tony Stark could be Peter's subconscious kind of thing. And I think they've already stated that the theme of the next Spider-Man movie, which is the next movie to take place after after Avengers 4, it's going to follow up the movie almost directly, and they say it's going to be the most emotionally charged Marvel movie, and I think that's because Tony Stark dies. And I think that Tony Stark is the Uncle Ben
type moment.
Yeah, and he's going to learn with great power comes great responsibility.
I'm interested to see that, because I wonder if he's already had that Uncle Ben moment. If this is one they have to push him over the edge. In addition to that, though, I wonder if there's like this next movie will also be like him becoming more serious about it. Maybe this is like him getting closer into high school, thinking about life after and everything like that too. So it'll be dope.
All right, well, I think we've talked about Infinity War enough, guys. What do you guys think? Did you guys still love this movie?
Yeah. We didn't see the Hulk in it. He was in the trailer. We didn't see that.
We did see it in it. He's in the beginning of the movie.
He got slapped around by Thanos.
No.
You got that.
In the trailer, he's running with them.
That was the biggest trolling by Marvel.
Yeah. He's running with
They were trying
them.
to misdirection there.
I think he's just scared. He's scared to.
I love that though.
He got his ass whooped, so he's like.
Well, I think that's the first time the Hulk realizes
he's not invincible.
Well, like somebody I'm protecting might not make it, or he might die himself, and he's not invincible. Yeah,
exactly.
But
Sakaar was the best thing for him.
They kind of breezed over the fact that, remember in Thor Ragnarok that Bruce Banner said, "Oh, if I change back into the Hulk, I'm not going to come back." Because it's just this inner battle between Hulk
and Hulk, exactly.
But now it's just back to normal.
Which I gotta be honest though, that thing kind of makes me disappointed. Like that's the reason I wish we would get a Hulk movie, because that was one of the most emotionally charged moments of Thor Ragnarok. That I wish we could explore more. Yeah. Because in a way, it was like a jaw dropper moment. Like, wait, I've been gone for 2 years. I've been the Hulk for 2 years. I just lost 2 years of my life.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
What if we just see the Hulk and Banner kind of separate and we get a different, like a gray Hulk?
But that's what I was gonna say. That was what I was hoping was gonna happen in the movie. That the Hulk would keep refusing to come out. Banner would try to force him out because he's done it in the past, and we would get like the Gray Hulk. And again, cool thing about it is General Ross. They keep having General Ross hanging around.
You're a Red Hulk.
Exactly. We get a Red Hulk. They keep giving this man paychecks for a reason. So it's like there's so many cool possibilities out there.
Maybe they turn him into the Red Hulk to find the secret Avengers.
Maybe.
There's so many different things.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We love doing this Marvel show. Thursdays might be a good idea. You guys, there was a lot of you guys that tuned in today. Thank you so much for watching. Also, check us out at thathashtagshow.com. There's new Marvel articles every day, and we have the latest exclusives in the geek world. Guys, where can everyone find you on social media, and where can they find you this weekend?
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me this weekend at Heidi Ho Comics. I'll be there for Free Comic Book Day. So come down and chill.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. That Free Comic Book
Day. Yeah, you paused it like you were going to go into
it. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
We're going to be here. We're going to be here with the...
Where's here?
At the Comic Book in Manhattan Beach on Saturday. With 3 Power Rangers, and then Sunday in Culver City at the Comic Book also.
With the same 3 Rangers.
With the same 3 Rangers.
We're like a touring act.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. And where can we find you on social media?
On social media at Jezzer Zeus.
And you can find me at that hashtag show right here every single week. I'll be at Free Comic Book Day on Saturday and Sunday in Manhattan Beach's Comic Bug and then Culver City's Comic Bug. And tomorrow I'll be at Star Wars.
They were saying it like 10
May
times
the
today.
4th Fest, right? Or May the 4th Fest?
Yeah,
up in Riverside,
California.
Brought in by Live Nation and hosted by us.
Hosted by us, yes. So we will be there. You can get your tickets. There. They're pretty cheap. Also, check out Live Nation. You can get your tickets there. So celebrate May the 4th with us, and May the 4th be with you. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. On tomorrow, if you're a Power Ranger fan, get ready because we're debuting a new thing called Fan Theory Friday.
Wait, what?
That's going to be out tomorrow, so check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
See you next week.